In my book, How to Eat, Move, and Be Healthy, I talk about the importance of digestion, and I talk about some of the common problems people have with digestion, and I go into how food allergies impact us and how food intolerances are created. One of the things I've really enjoyed is seeing all the research flooding in the last 10 years or so on the gut-brain axis and talking about how the microbiome is so essential to our physical, emotional, and mental well-being. And one of the things that we learn from all that research is that health of the microbiome has a lot to do with the diversity of genetics we're bringing in from all the different foods that we eat, or hopefully are eating a wide variety of foods. But it's very important to remember that leaky gut syndrome is one of the main problems that leads to food intolerances and global inflammation and cognitive disorders and aching and pains and arthritic type symptoms throughout the body. And the number one cause of leaky gut syndrome is stress, followed by medical drugs, followed by alcohol consumption, all of which are very disruptive to the health of the small intestine, the lining of the small intestine and the microvilli, which control what gets absorbed and what doesn't get absorbed. Now, when our guts are not healthy because we're not eating healthy, there's a lot of things that happen. One of the things that commonly happens is people begin to have very self-destructive and even suicidal thoughts. I've had too many people to count write to me or come to me in person describing how they're really scared or concerned about what's going on because they're having all these negative thoughts or even self-harm thoughts or negative destructive thoughts towards other people and wanting to kill themselves. And the first thing I do is say, remove any non-organic foods from your diet, and I tell them about how to find actual organic foods, and drink half your body weight in ounces of water a day from a proper water source, not tap water, but preferably some kind of spring water or quality water bottled in glass. And I've never had a single case yet of probably at least 50 over the years where when a person did that, they didn't either have a complete elimination of that negative thinking and suicidal thoughts or a significant reduction to the point that they were more stable. And there's a number of reasons for that, but the gut and the brain are in constant connection with each other, as is the gut with the whole body. And the amount of chemicals that are coming into our body on food is mind-boggling. And if you're not eating organic, you're getting herbicides, fungicides, rodenticides, pesticides, and glyphosate. And all of those chemicals can disrupt your ability for your hormonal system to function correctly. They can disrupt growth and development. They can disrupt what vitamins, minerals, trace minerals, and micronutrients your body can even absorb or use. So without a long dissertation, the health of the gut turns out to be extremely pivotal to our overall sense of well-being and our emotional stability and our mental stability. And I cover all the basics that everybody needs to know about the soil, about shopping, about gut health, and how to take care of yourself in my book, How to Eat, Move, and Be Healthy. I also show how to do a proper exclusion diet to identify what your food intolerances could be, how to use a 4-day rotation diet, and I give tips for getting more food variety. So all of these things are very, very important to each of us. And if we are unconscious or unaware of these things, we can find ourselves with a disease. But usually what happens is you start to feel tired all the time, and you compensate by using quick energy foods or drinks, often which have a lot of sugar, which feed pathogenic bacteria, feed fungus, and feed parasites, and lead to a lot more problems. And if we're not taking care of ourselves, we spend a lot of money that we could be using for food we want, like organic food. We could be taking vacations, we could be doing our hobbies. And when you consider that last time I looked up, the average American's medical expense per year was, I think, $14,500 or thereabouts. And interestingly, the number one cause of bankruptcy today is medical expenses. About, I would guesstimate 90 to 95% of all these medical expenses would be eliminated by simply applying what I teach in my book, How to Eat, Move, and Be Healthy. So if you want to learn a lot more You can get the book, or you can just start being much more aware of what you're eating and making sure you're getting enough nutrient variety from truly organic foods, not bogus organic foods. You have to ask the farmer or go to farmer's market and get stuff that's really grown organically. Otherwise, you can be tricked into spending money on expensive food that isn't any better for you than commercial foods because it's fake organic food. And that just goes part and parcel with the world we live in today. Illusion after illusion that costs more and more. But my book, How to Eat, Move, and Be Healthy, will save you from a lot of that. And for only about $25, you can learn how to eat, move, and be healthy. So thanks for joining me today.